And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. Area high school basketball teams vying for their playoff spots. Looks pretty good for the Statesboro Blue Devil boys and girls, as the Statesboro boys and girls coming off a sweep of Ware County this past week. They wrap up the season at home against South Effingham on Friday. The boys undefeated and have already captured the regular season title. They'll be hosting the region tournament coming up next week. As for the girls, right now they're in a tie with Wayne County. A coin flip will determine who wins that if they're able to knock off South Effingham there on Friday. As for the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets, right in the middle of the pack for both the boys and the girls, coming off big wins this past Friday against the Islands. Next up for Southeast Bulloch, they'll be on the road coming up on Tuesday at Groves, the team that they had swept earlier in the season. Right now, like I said, the boys and the girls right there in the middle of the pack, looking to try to secure the 4 or the 5 seed, perhaps in the upcoming region tournament, which will begin the following week as well. As for the Bulloch Academy Gators, the girls are in a great spot right now. They're undefeated in region play, coming off a nail-biting victory on the road at Trinity, where they won in the last seconds of the game. The boys unfortunately lost that game. Next up for the Gators, they'll be hosting Westfield on Friday. As for the Portal Panthers, the boys were able to knock off ECI and snap a losing streak this past week. The girls lost. They will both be on the road at Savannah Christian on Tuesday. And big games for the Georgia Southern Eagles. The men and the women had a rare doubleheader at home on Saturday. The guys fell to Georgia State despite leading for most of that game. Tough loss for them, and a big win for the women, who easily outpaced the Georgia State Panthers in that one. We'll have highlights of those games as well as some of the high school games for you as well coming up in just a moment. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888. or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles playing a rare doubleheader Saturday at Hanner Fieldhouse. The women playing at 2 o'clock against Georgia State. The guys taking on Georgia State's men at 5 o'clock rather. A packed house for the guys game and one of the better crowds in quite some time for the women. Let's send you back out for some of the highlights. A rare men's-women's doubleheader Saturday at Hanner Fieldhouse. A good crowd on hand for the ladies against Georgia State. The visitors start the scoring. Taylor Lyons makes the layup but loses her shoe and has to carry it with her. The Eagles hot early on. Nikki McDonald hits inside. Nearly an instant replay moments later as McDonald once again able to get this one to go, and then showing her range, McDonald just past the three-point line hits this one. She'd finished with 15 points. The Panthers keeping things close as Mariah Taylor hits the 3, but the Eagles right back, working the ball outside to Tatum Barber for 3. Back inside we go. Off the mark here, but McDonald, the rebound and the putback just before the end of the first quarter. Eagles by 2. To the second quarter we go, and Barber heating up. She hits the 3. Next, McDonald once again inside. And then back we go to Barber, who penetrates for the nice lefty layup and the foul. She'd have 21 points. The Eagles with 10 three-pointers, including this one from Alexis Brown, and they'd roll 81-56. The line outside of Hanner Fieldhouse tells a story, as it was another sold-out show as the Eagles welcomed in the Panthers. The action fast and furious early on. Ike Smith hits the pull-up jumper. Next, Smith outside where he buries the three, showing his range. The Panthers respond with Kane Williams hitting this tough shot here with the lefty off the glass. And then Justin Roberts for three. One of 5 Panthers in double figures. The Eagles' Isaiah Crowley left alone buries the three. Georgia Southern turning up the defensive pressure. Simeon Carter the block. Next, it's Ike Smith doing his LeBron James imitation. And then it's Carter with another of his 5 blocks in the game. On offense, it's Smith once again, and this time the hoop and the foul. He'd lead all scorers with 23 points. More from Smith. This time he's able to hit the running hook shot with the friendly bounce. The Eagle bench chipping in as well. David Vita hits the three from the corner. Georgia Southern up by 3. Next, Calvin Wishart for 3 more. And then it's Smith once again driving in, and he hits the tough left-handed reverse. Quan Jackson then on the break going hard to the basket for 2 more. Smith then the nice pass to Trey Dawkins with the power slam. Eagles up by 5 at the half. Moving on to the second half, Georgia Southern extending their lead. Smith hits the runner to make it a 10-point game. Next, outside we go. Wishart hits another three-pointer. Wishart then on the break here. A tough shot. The Eagles up by 12, and then it's Wishart, the alley-oop to Elijah McCadden, bringing the crowd to their feet. Georgia Southern up by 13 points, but from there things got cold for the Eagles, hot for the Panthers. Damon Wilson gives Georgia State a 1-point lead with less than a minute to play in the game. And then it's Williams making it a 3-point Georgia State lead with under 40 seconds to go. The big story late in the game, Georgia Southern struggling from the free throw line, while the Panthers able to hit their free throws, and they'd go on to win 82-77. Well, next up, the women on the road at Troy and South Alabama coming up this week on Thursday and Saturday. As for the guys, they're back home hoping to rebound from that loss to Georgia State. They'll have Troy coming up Thursday at 7, and then they'll play South Alabama Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Stay with us. High school highlights coming up next.
My Queensboro banker is Cheryl Quick.
Blanchard Equipment Company has 16 locations.
Queensboro has homegrown values just like us.
They get heavily involved in every community.
And that means strong customer service.
They've been around a long time, just like John Deere.
When you run across the bank like that, you stick with them.
I sure would like to own one of these John Deeres.
Well, we can sure make that happen.
Oh, well.
Queensboro is your community bank. Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
This your boy Mo with the flow. Come check out the stove. 15-0, 2 weeks in a row, baby. Stiff arming, high prices. And we're throwing the flag on quality that's low. That's why you need to come see Mo at Floors Out in Statesboro, Georgia. Come check us out at 1267 Northside Drive East in Statesboro, or call us at 912-225-9911. Georgia!
Well, a couple of our hotter teams in our area, the Statesboro High boys and girls for that matter, as well as the Bulloch Academy Gators, ranked first in the state on the girls side of things. They were taking on Pinewood this past week. Let's take a look first at some highlights from that, followed by the Statesboro Blue Devils as they were hosting Ware County this past Friday. Statesboro High hosting Ware County in a region matchup. Ladies first. And this one was all Statesboro. Jemiah Jones pulls up and knocks down the three-pointer. The Gators try and stay close early on, but Statesboro going on a 14-2 run. Sarah Ellis hits the three-pointer. Next, Lacy Robbins dials one up just before the buzzer. Statesboro up by 10. Madison Lee then knocks down the baseline jumper. Bailey Roberts next with a nice pass inside to Jones for the layup. Statesboro up by 16 at the half. Second half, and Robbins continues to hit from outside. Next, Roberts with the rebound and the putback. Robbins adds a pair of three-pointers. She finished with 15 points on 5 threes, and Statesboro wins 60-28. To the boys' game we go, and it was much the same story. Zarion Griffin starts things off with the steal and the dunk. Next, the Blue Devils hitting the glass. Tim Taylor coming up with the putback. And then it's Joe Burns off the mark, but Leslie Black the rebound, and he hits for 2 more. The Gators try and hang around, but this one was all Statesboro. Taylor inside for the tough 2 and the foul. Henry Humphreys then with the nice follow-up to his own miss. Next, nice passing inside where Black's able to finish. And then off the inbounds play, Jacoby Edenfield knocks down the corner three-pointer. Next, Burns to Griffin with the nice spin move and the foul. Griffin then finds Allie DeLoach for the hoop and the foul. And then it's O.J. Reese doing a nice job driving for the layup as Statesboro opens up an 11-point halftime lead. The Blue Devils pull away in the third. Kobe Altman buries the 3. And then it's Burns with the tough turnaround in the lane. Statesboro on an 18-2 run as Griffin hits on the break. More from Griffin racing out ahead of the pack and finishing. And then it's Altman for 3 more. He'd score all of his 13 points in the third quarter. Burns adds the scoop shot here. And then Burns with the three-pointer himself. And finally, it's Griffin with the pull-up jumper. He'd finish with a game-high 18 points. And then the finishing touch on the steal, it's Griffin as Statesboro rolls 78-45. The Bulloch Academy Gators hosting Pinewood before a packed house Tuesday night. Ladies first, and Casey Ricketts follows up her own shot for the layup. Next, Reagan Ellis will stop and pop for 2. Ricketts then off the mark, but Ellis there for the putback. And then just before the end of the first quarter, Ricketts will hit the 3 at the buzzer. And the Gators take a 9-2 lead. In the second quarter, Pinewood tries to make a run. Ansley Howard hits the layup, but the Gators right back. Ellis inside for the hoop and the foul. And then Ellis powers up for 2 more. Should have 9 first half points. Ashante Noble adds the hoop and the foul before the half. And we go to halftime with the Gators leading 16-6. Second half, and Ricketts able to get the friendly bounce. She'd finished with 14 points, leading the way. Next, Leah Wilford drives in for the layup. BA up by 12. Noble then the nice save to Abby Newton for the easy 2. Newton later finds Ricketts on the backdoor cut for 2 more. But late in the fourth, the Patriots go on a run. Abby Oates hits the three-pointer. Amy Mills then hits the lefty hook, cutting the lead to 4 with 2 minutes left. But the Gators respond. Williford drives in for the layup. She'd add a pair of free throws right after that. And finally, Newton to Ricketts as the Gators win 35-26. to 28. To the boys' game we go, and this one's starting off a little slow. Pinewood's Nathan Scott hits the three, and they'd take an 8-0 lead. The Gators try to come back. Bo Spence with the bucket in transition. Pinewood answers with David Friedberg on the other end. Down by 8, Weston Boyd hits the corner three. Spence later going baseline and making the tough shot here. Boyd then ahead of the pack for 2 more. But the Patriots in control. J.M. Hedrick with the layup. Pinewood up by 11 at the half. More of the same in the third quarter as Scott hits another three-pointer. Boyd trying to keep the Gators within striking distance with the tough bucket here. Will Aaron later on the break, cutting the lead to single digits. The Gators then heat up from long range in the fourth. Spence buries a pair of three-pointers. He'd have 14 points. Next, it's Boyd from the elbow. He hits it. And then the corner three by Aaron cuts the lead to 5. Lyons McKinney would then make it a 3-point game off the inbounds. The Gators turn up the D as Michael Corbett and Spence help create the turnover. And then it's Corbett giving the Gators their first lead of the game as he hits this three-pointer. Pinewood retakes the lead, but again the Gators answer. McKinney with the putback, up by 1. The Gators missed the front end of a couple 1-and-1s, and then with time running out, Mick Wasson hits what proves to be the game winner for Pinewood as the Gators fall 47-45. As we mentioned, next up for the Bulloch Academy Gators, they'll be hosting Westfield Friday, and as for Statesboro High, they'll be back in action Friday, a game that was originally scheduled for Saturday. They'll be taking on South Effingham Friday beginning at 6 o'clock for the girls' game. All right, stay with us. We'll wrap things up in just a moment with a head out as we head out to Brooklet. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy, in-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests, and ultrasounds, and in-house labs. Featuring nurse practitioner Melissa Beasley, Family Internal Medicine of Statesboro can accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
Well, the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets with a big region game as they wrapped up their home schedule against Islands. Let's send you out for some highlights from that one. Southeast Bulloch wrapping up their home schedule Friday against Islands. Girls first in second half action. Check out the inbounds play. Jaden Smith off the defender's back for the layup. Later, Madison Taylor pulls up and knocks down the three. The Jackets by 8. She'd have 13 points. Islands trying to keep it close, but the Jackets right back. A nice drive here by Katie Fuller for the layup. Again, Islands trying to answer. Carrie Washington hits the jumper here, but the Yellow Jackets right back. Ainsley Littles the three-pointer. She'd have 12 points. And then Littles from way downtown buries another. Southeast Bulloch up by 8. Littles then the nice look inside to Delaney Thames. And Southeast Bulloch wins 48-40. Moving on now to the boys' game, and an important one for the Jackets, and they'd start out with the alley-oop from Christian Clark to Jannard Mike. More from the Jackets on the break. Clark finishes. Next, it's Mike driving in and getting this one off the glass for 2. Jordan Bradford next with the nifty moves as he's able to knife his way in for the layup. A.J. Williams next driving in for 2 more. Islands trying to get back in it with the three-pointer, but the Jackets in control. Clark answers with the 3 of his own. And then it's Ryan Swanson getting down low, and he finishes. Next, Swanson, the dribble drive kick out to Bradford in the corner, who nails the three-pointer. Just before the end of the first, we'll go to the second, and Clark and Bradford with a nice give and go. Bradford with the reverse, he'd have 17 points. Islands trying to cut into the lead, getting within 6. But the Jackets right back. Swanson a step back 3. And then nice ball movement as Clark finishes with 2 of his 20 points in the game. Swanson then steps back and buries another 3. And then it's Swanson, the pull-up jumper, as Southeast rolls 86-51. So a big sweep for the Yellow Jackets. Next up, they'll be taking on Groves, a team that they were able to sweep at home earlier in the season. As for the Bulloch Academy Gators, we mentioned earlier, they'll be hosting Westfield Friday, Statesboro High hosting South Effingham Friday. Portal coming off a split with ECI. The guys were able to snap a losing streak, and they won that one pretty handedly over the ECI Bulldogs. Next up for Portal, they'll be traveling to Savannah Christian coming up on Tuesday. That'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.